Hello, I believe you are having a wonderful Tuesday. It's my pleasure and I'm happy to be back on our Right Believing series on Tuesday. Every Tuesday we are on the Right Believing series, and today is another wonderful opportunity for us to do exactly that. My name is Tope Olonini. I'm a pastor and I'm the author of Right Believing Produces Right Living, the book that we are taking on one chapter after the other. So you are welcome. Today we are right on Right Believing series lesson 33, and the topic is Fishers of Men. Right Believing series lesson 33, Fishers of Men. That's our topic for today. All right, now you recall that this is the fifth of the 8 chapters in this section, and this section is Releasing Grace part 1. We've been on charity, loving as Christ loved us, my brother's keeper, shining as light, and Fishers of Men is the topic for today. Fishers of Men is the topic for today. All right, so one thing we must know is that salvation by grace through faith is the greatest and most fascinating experience a living man can have. Most people do not understand that. Most people do not understand salvation. Most big churches, mega churches, don't even understand salvation. Most Christians are cold and not zealous because they have not really discovered salvation by grace through faith. Some have very wrong, ideas of what they think salvation is based on what they have been taught, but not based on what the Bible really says. According to the Bible, we are saved by grace through faith. And I tell you, this is the most fascinating experience on earth that a man can have. That a man can be saved totally by grace through faith. We mean by grace through faith, not based on what you have done or what you'll be able to do. A total gift from God that is from Him and from Him alone. The grace is 100% from God. The faith, the grace does not have a work component. The faith is also, a faith that is devoid of work. Not just believing without working for it. That's the faith. That is how you are saved. This is the most fascinating experience. Now, it is very important that this is understood, because you cannot be a fisher of men if you do not really have a sound, a great foundation in this truth. After having this fascinating experience, when you really understand it and you have it, do you know that you will not be able to keep quiet? It will be so fascinating that you will almost feel like bursting out. You will not be able to hold your peace. You will not be able to keep it to yourself. If you find it difficult to preach the gospel, if you find it difficult to share the salvation experience with people, it's because you yourself, you do not actually understand the salvation. Maybe you don't even have it, or you don't understand it at all. The moment you really understand salvation in its naked form, saved by grace through faith alone, you will find it will be impossible for you to shut your mouth. You will want everybody to know about it. When it is truly experienced, when salvation by grace through faith is truly experienced and understood, it tastes so good that it has to be talked about by the one who has it. You will not be able to keep it to yourself. Now, and that is what brings us to the issue of fishers of men. This light of the gospel will shine so bright that it cannot be hidden under the table. A table, a believer cannot keep quiet. Jesus definitely knew this when he told Peter in Mark 1 verse 17, "Come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men." Every fisherman has the potential to fish other men. Every fished man has the potential to fish other men. He said, "Come after me, I will make you." The moment you come after Jesus Christ and you understand and experience that salvation, you are automatically made a fisher of men, because the salvation will be so glorious, it will begin to shine, through your life. So it is the gospel in its original form, in its original true version, is a story of love that sounds too good to be true. The enemy of the gospel has tried to confuse and muddle it up and sell a corrupted religious version of the gospel to the world. The corrupted religious version is what has been sold to the world through churches, even through mainstream churches, and that is why people have not been able to live as fishers of men. A believer should be excited to tell the story of love to everyone at any time the opportunity presents itself. A believer that really understands salvation by grace through faith will be excited to tell the same story anytime the opportunity presents itself, without drawing back, without fear or favor. Now look at 2 Corinthians number 4, verse 4 and 5. It says, in whom the God of this world has blinded the mind of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Christ Jesus the Lord, and ourselves your servant for Jesus' sake. Ourselves your servant for Jesus' sake. This is what it takes to be a fisher of men. So who is a fisher of men? A believer is a fisher of men because he throws the net every time. He throws the net every time at a yet to be catch fish, seen as a soon to be catch fish. A fisher of men, a believer, see everyone that have not received Christ as Savior as a soon to be catch fish. He does this by preaching about Jesus, as stated in 2 Corinthians number 4, verse 5, which we have just read. He preached about Jesus. He does not preach about himself. He see a yet to be catch fish as a soon to be catch fish. The same way that a fisherman, when he goes to the river and throws the net, every fish he sees in the sea, he sees it as a potential fish that can be caught. So that's why he's throwing the net. He's throwing the net. He doesn't care whether he's going to be able to catch them or not. But every time he sees a fish, he's hopeful and he throws the net out of excitement. Okay, so there are 3 simple steps to be a fisher of men, as we have read in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5. He said, he has 3 simple strategies. A fisher of man have 3 simple strategies to achieve this. Number 1, he does not present himself or his religion as better than others. It's not about religion. It's not about your church. It's not about you. You do not present yourself. It's not about your pastor being anointed or your leader being a great man. You do not present yourself. You do not present any man. Do not present yourself or your religion as better than others. Number 2, he love and serve for the sake of Christ. He love and serve for the sake of Christ. So it has to do with our attitude. He love and he serve for the sake of Christ. Number 3, he presents Christ. So 3 different things. You don't present yourself. You love and serve other for the sake of. Even people that ordinarily you are not supposed to serve, you love them and serve them. Why? For the sake of Christ. Then you present Christ, which is the ultimate, which is the very critical part of what we are talking about. A fisher of men throws the net every time. Every believer is automatically enlisted as a fisher of men. A fisher does not catch all the fishes he throw a net at. Not at all. A fisher that goes to the sea or goes to the river to catch fish, he knows he cannot catch all the fish he's going to throw his net at. He doesn't get bothered by the fact that he's only able to catch some of them. He doesn't get discouraged. He just throws the net. Every time he sees the fish, he's optimistic and he throws the net. What can't is that he throws the net every time there is an opportunity. What can't for a fisher of men is that you throw the net at every time there's opportunity. You are sitting in the plane, with somebody, you throw the net. You are doing business with somebody, you throw the net. You have opportunity to come across somebody, you throw the net. In the office, opportunity presents itself, you throw the net. On the walkway, in the lift, in the staircase, on the belt, anywhere, you just keep on throwing the net through every word and action. Okay? So, a fisher of men, however, is also strategic in action. He understands his role is to preach to every creature, though all creatures may not be saved. A true fisherman is strategic in action and patient in hope. He is strategic. He looks for the best way he can get the best number of catches, best number of fishes. He plans for the best time, the best opportunity, and at the same time he's patient in hope. He continues to throw the net until it's able to catch the fishes. So now it's very important that a fisher of man, a fisher of men, preach the gospel. Mark 16:15, and he said unto them, Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. So this is the order, this is the mandate, this is what is called, for the Great Commission. Now, the Bible calls every believer an evangelist. The work of evangelism is not for believers that have the calling and ministry of evangelists. Okay? Every believer that has truly tasted the Lord and have seen that the Lord is good is automatically an evangelist to persons in this area of influence. Apostle Paul admonished Timothy to do the work of an evangelist. Timothy was a pastor, but he was asked to do the work of an evangelist. So no matter what you're calling, no matter what you do, even if you don't have the fivefold ministry, everyone is an evangelist. And we see that in 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 5. He said, But work thou in all things, endure affliction, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. You don't need to have the calling of an evangelist, to do the work of an evangelist to somebody near you, to somebody you work with, to somebody you have opportunity of spending 30 minutes, 1 hour with. Say, make full proof of that ministry. No matter the ministry you have, it is all about making Christ known. So, we need to avoid spiritual waste. It is not enough for a believer to live as a good Christian and show the light of Jesus. Such attitude is spiritual waste and slothfulness. If a believer live a good Christian life, show the light of Christ, love people and serve people, but refuse to preach the gospel, such is a spiritual waste. Remember, Proverbs 12 verse 27 says, The slothful man roasted not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. So we have to be diligent in being a fisher of man. A fisher of fishes in the sea that is going to have a lot of catch, it must be a diligent one. It has to be done diligently. It is not enough to be a nice person, to be a good Christian. Everybody, you're a Christian, but you don't preach. It is just like, going into the forest, hunter goes to the forest, catch a very good animal, bring it home and leave it there to rot away. You have done all the right thing. You have shown the light of Christ. You have behaved rightly. You have fantastic attitude. Love people, you serve people, but you don't open your mouth to preach because you are not taking the harvest. You need to take the harvest. You need not waste the opportunity to let people know that the light that is shining in you is the light of Christ, and they need to come to that Christ. So we are ordained to do the work of an evangelist. We are ordained to be fishers of men. All believers are ordained to play the role of an evangelist to as many people as possible. All right, and disciple some. The work of an evangelist to as many as possible, but you cannot disciple all of them. You disciple some of the people that receive the word out of the many that are reached. You reach as many as possible, and then you disciple some out of those that you can actually be closer to disciple them for the Lord. That's why John 15:16 said, Jesus speaking said, Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. So he has ordained you to go forth and bring fruit, and that your fruit should remain. That is your destiny. That is what you are ordained to do. And it is for you to be able to carry out this assignment. That is why he gave you his name. That whatever you ask in my name shall be done. That's what they say there. Whatever you ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. In other words, he has given you the tool that you need to do it. And that tool is nothing more than his name. I put my name in your mouth. I have given you power of attorney with my name. So go ahead and get it done. Go ahead and do what you are supposed to do. Go ahead and do what you are ordained to do. Go ahead and bring forth fruit. Nothing can hinder you. Nothing can stand on your way. So preaching the gospel is key. You've got to catch the fish. You've got to to roast the meat that you have already brought from the bush. You don't allow them to wait. If the unsafe is not preached to, he cannot believe and be saved, even if he's willing to be saved. That is why you must be a fisher of men. So Romans chapter 10 verse 14 and 15 put it more clearly. Say, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? Verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. So you are equipped and prepared already. A believer must be at alert and be ready to take advantage of every opportunity to preach the gospel. This means that he is equipped and prepared with the basics of the gospel message of salvation by grace through faith. You must equip yourself, prepare yourself, so that at any time the opportunity presents itself, you'll be able to take advantage of it. His conduct should not cast doubt on the message of salvation. Your conduct should not make people to doubt the message you are about to preach at any point in time. That's why you must love, you must serve, you must preach the gospel, and you should not preach yourself. So 1 Peter chapter number 3, verse 15, it says, but sanctify the Lord in your heart, and be ready always. In other words, be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you, in reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and with fear. That's why you must be filled with the truth of your salvation. That's why it should be something that have overwhelmed your heart, and so it is easy for you to just spawn it out, consciously, at any point in time, even from the dream you wake up, you'll be able to say, because you have allowed the truth and the joy of salvation to fill and to overflow in your heart. Okay, so Colossians 4 verse 6 says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. In other words, everything you say should prepare the heart of men for the gospel. It should be seasoned with salt. It should be something that always comes with grace. You should always be gracious to people, so that by the time you tell them about salvation by grace through faith, their heart to be prepared for it. Seasoned with salt. You have to propose in your heart that every word that comes out of your mouth is going to have some salt. Even if you want to say a bitter thing to somebody, you need to say hard truth. Let there be some salt in it. Let it end with encouragement. Let it start with praise, so that at the end of the day, it become an instrument that God can always use to shine the light of Christ and to go for the kill, which is to actually bring them to Christ, to actually reap the harvest, to actually bring the harvest in for the Lord, by preaching the gospel. Now, a fisher of man must know that it's like the sower that the Bible talk about in the book of Luke chapter number 8. Doing the work of an evangelist is comparable to the work of the sower. All right, some of the seed is going to fall on the wayside, and the fowl will devour it. Some will fall on the rock and wither away, and some among the thorn and be choked. But there will always be few that will fall on good ground and spring fruitful reward. So don't be discouraged when some fall by the wayside. Don't be discouraged when some fall on the rock. Don't be discouraged when some fell among the thorns and they are choked. Just continue to use every opportunity to preach Christ, to tell people about Christ, to love and to serve, and to let them know. So this is what this is all about today. It's about being a fisher of men. It's about being ready, and knowing that you are an evangelist, in any place, anywhere that God has posted you. You are an evangelist. You are people. You are already ordained to bear fruit, and God has equipped you with the name of Jesus Christ. God is always trigger happy to answer any prayer that you pray in the name of Jesus Christ, for the purpose of enabling you to bear fruit. God will be trigger happy to answer such prayer. That's why He gave you the name of Jesus Christ. That's why He said, anything you ask in my name, I will give it to you, so that you can be fruitful, and so that your fruit will abide. All right. So the prayer is, Father, I thank you for ordaining me to bear fruit, to be a fisher of men and a sower of the seed of the world. Thank you for revealing the love of God to me, so that I can show it to the world around me. Help me to be patient with people as you have been patient with me. Help me to love unconditionally as you have loved me. Use me for your glory, to fish men for your kingdom. Now, can you take it with me? Say, Father, I thank you for ordaining me to bear fruit. to be a fisher of men and a sower of the seed of the word. Thank you for revealing the love of God to me so that I can show it to the world around me. Help me to be patient with people as you have been patient with me. Help me to love unconditionally as you have loved me. Use me for your glory to fish men for your kingdom. Amen. Alright, my theme for the week is Mark chapter 1 verse 17. Come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men. The words of our Lord Jesus Christ himself. I suggested reading in Luke chapter 5 to chapter 8, Isaiah chapter 5 to chapter number 8. What have we done again today? We are knocking out all the wrong doctrines. All the wrong doctrines that make us to believe that it's so difficult to do, that is a task, that must be done, and it's a weight that you need to carry, it's a cross. No, it's something that should just flow out of your life. It's something that you allow the love and the grace of Jesus Christ to fill your heart and to overwhelm your heart and to flow out of your life. It's something that will come to you naturally. Alright? And I believe from today that will be our portion in the name of Jesus Christ. Okay, so if you are following me, if you are watching me on the Facebook, don't forget to share these videos. Don't forget to follow me. Don't forget to like my page, and don't forget to continue to come back and watch. Once you like my page, most likely you will be seeing me when I paste a new video. And remember, every Tuesday a new video is coming out on the Right Believing series. And if you are watching me on the YouTube, don't forget to also subscribe to this channel. And as you subscribe to this channel, don't forget to also click the notification button so that anytime I post a new video, you can be notified and you can watch it also. So thank you very much for being a part of this today. Now, the platform on which I serve God and I pastor is Grace Impact Network. So you need to know more. If you want to know more about it, go to www.graceimpactnetwork.com. All right, and you want to know how you can pick a copy of your book or get an e-copy, or other information about the book, the bookshop, and so on and so forth. Go to www.graceimpactnetwork.com/outlet. You want to do a mail to us, send it to hello@graceimpactnetwork.com. And you want to do one to me in particular, don't forget it's pastor@graceimpactnetwork.com. Thank you so much for hanging out there with me today. I'll see you next week with another topic. Bye.